What is happening, everyone? Welcome to the Republic of Players podcast. This is episode 22, and we have a very special one tonight. We've got three very special guests. But first, I'm going to introduce the usual crew in Paddy Toner. What's happening, Paddy?
All right, everyone. What's the crack, man?
How's things with you?
Sure. Tipping along as usual.
Struggling along, yeah.
Struggling, tipping.
And we have Fano. What's happening, Fano?
How's the crack, boys? How is everybody?
Good. And our three special guests are Fortnite legends. They are in the Irish scene, absolutely ripping it up at the moment. We have Josh, aka LolbOom. What's happening, Josh?
Hey, what's up, bro?
How are you doing?
I'm doing good. What about you?
Good, man. Glad to have you on. We have Matt, aka Stuffs.
Hello there. I'm doing good.
Your setup is absolutely sick beyond belief.
I'm just flexing, bro. It's not usually like this. I was like, hey, I'm going to be on video. May as well turn it on.
So you got that Christmas lighting up for the season 7?
Yeah, that's definitely not there all year round, by the way.
Nice one. And we have their manager, Jeff. What's happening, Jeff?
Hello, guys. How are you? It's great to be here.
Thanks a million for coming on. We're glad to have you. It's great to have guys that are coming in from the Fortnite scene that are just absolutely wrecking the show at the moment. Paddy is a massive fan of Fortnite, and he'll be glad to have this show because every week he mentions the game. We all kind of laugh at him because he mentions it so much, but this is going to be a Fortnite-centric show. I'm looking forward to it, so let's just jump in. Paddy Toner, what have you been playing?
Fortnite. No, come on. No, I've been playing some Rainbow Six Siege, and I've been playing some Red Dead Online, and they're both great. Red Dead Online is savage, and take it out a bit, add more to it because I think I've gone through everything they have.
Yeah, I find that I think the same happened with GTA Online. It was a little bit empty at the start, but the way Rockstar work is they have the money to absolutely support that thing to the last. They are going to redo the economy as far as I know because a lot of the stuff is expensive as hell. I mean, the corn is like £4, and if you do a mission, you get £2. So
it actually is. If you do the missions towards the end, like the later missions, you actually get a lot more money. Like the first ones you get a little money, but the next ones you get like $100 or $150. So I think a lot of people didn't give it a chance and didn't play it through. If you keep going, the money gets more, but they do have to try it. The guns are really expensive. Like you buy a revolver for $150, like it's ridiculous. You'd never get it.
And how are you finding that Fortnite, that new season?
The new season just started today, and to be honest, I was in the new part where it was snowing and everything. It looked like Battlefield with the new airplanes and everything shooting down. I didn't know what was going on. The game is changing so much all the time. They keep it fresh constantly, which is good, but I'd say it's hard to compete in it when it's changing so much all the time.
We're about to hear from the experts pretty soon about how that's going for them. But
Seamus, let's hear.
First, I'm going to ask Fano, what have you been playing, Fano?
For me, I haven't really been playing much this week. I've been racking up some hours in Football Manager because
that's not a real game. It's not a real game.
Excuse you. When you get back-to-back promotions with Swindon Town and have them in the championship, you come back and tell me it's not a real game. It's emotional all around, Paddy.
Hardcore,
Hardcore, yeah, hardcore shite. Anyway.
Oh, that was uncalled for, buddy.
Not salty at all.
What do you play there, Roland?
Pretty much the same. I did a bit of Fortnite season 7 today. I just jumped in and I really enjoyed it. Myself and my son, he loves it to bits. He's 7, just to let the guys know. He played it for a long time at the start. He jumped off at about season 5, but he's right back into it now. He heard me playing it earlier on. He was meant to be up in bed and he ran down and I gave him a quick go. So he got to see the snow level, and I think it's amazing what they're doing with that game. The fact that I think, Jeff, you'll know this from or any of the guys that played League of Legends, that the seasons go on so long in the likes of League of Legends. But with Fortnite, they have the seasons chopping and changing pretty quickly. Now, at a competitive level, I'm sure that is a pain. But for someone like me that's casual, I think it's really good. I think it's really interesting. And every time I jump in, it feels like the map has totally changed. So I enjoy that. Again, I'm playing some Grand Theft Auto Red Dead Redemption Online. I love that as well. Me and a group of friends are trying to build up enough money to make up a posse. But I'm going to throw it over to our special guest because I feel like I've been talking for too long. So Jeff, what have you been playing? I'm sure you've been playing some Fortnite, but let me know exactly how you're finding it and if you're playing anything else on the side.
My guy, Jeff.
Hey guys, so yeah, for me, I actually have not really been playing too much games. I'm just managing these guys, you know what I mean? Like,
okay,
they can't be trusted, you know.
So what does that mean? Tell us what it means to be a manager in the gaming industry, because I'm intrigued to find out.
So for me, my job is kind of to contact other teams, like just to get your network across, you know, like so we would just be, you know, it could just be casual talk. Some of them would be like more business, like if you're talking manager to manager.
Yeah.
But usually when you're talking to other players, it's mostly on like Twitter, but in Discord. But you know, most of the time it's really just people asking us like how we're doing and what we think of something. And
yeah, so just kind of reaching out and networking and
get involved.
Pretty much the same as kind of we do when we're looking for trying to get in with developers and stuff. We're always trying to make contacts like that. But we're gonna pick your brain a little bit later on about the questions that we're gonna ask, and we can really dive in. But I'm gonna throw it to Josh. What's happening, Josh? What have you been playing lately?
I've literally just been playing Fortnite this whole entire time,
For
like from
last, what,
season
2 years.
from season 1 all the way up to till now.
Okay.
That's like the only game, like the only game that I've been playing competitively. Like I've obviously been playing other games, but just for fun.
Yeah.
Like CS:GO to practice my aim.
Okay.
Some other games like League of Legends to just get some mechanics and all that stuff. But yeah, mostly Fortnite, to be honest.
Nice. So how are you finding season 7?
I played a few games and then I played some test customs in the Winter Skirmish. You know the Winter Skirmish?
Yep.
They are doing test customs for the competitive players earlier today. And I was playing it and I dropped at the snow biome places, and they're actually really good for like looting rotations because of the new planes.
Yeah, the planes are they're weird. I don't know if it's weird to add it to the game. It's just they're keeping it fresh, but it's kind of weird to see it. It's I found it very hard to get across the map without the planes. They've made it like it's a little bit bigger, and it seems to be it's kind of harder. You're running a lot more than you used to be. For me, anyway. Maybe it's just because it's the first day and you think you're missing the ghost rocks and not getting across the map as quick. The impulse grenades are gone as well.
Yeah, it's just a different mechanic into the game. Like we'll all get used to it later on, though.
Do you enjoy a new challenge when it comes to that, or would you prefer longer seasons like say League of Legends?
To be honest, I think these seasons are pretty fine because if they were like yearly seasons, I think the game would just die out like really quickly. Okay. And the casual players would just like move into a different game. Like other games, this game, they implemented the planes. Like obviously there was kind of a copy of Battlefield, but they're trying to like, go against that game, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, trying to challenge it. And do you think like there's a big gameplay element there? Do you think they're really going to push this kind of air gameplay, or is it just going to be for this season and maybe drop it after? Like, because I haven't got a chance to play in the plane. I don't know how tight the mechanics are, but do you reckon there's a future for this, or is it just going to be a quick kind of come and go?
Well, I'm not completely sure about that because this is
one day.
Yeah,
that's fair.
Snow biome was literally just implemented for winter, so I don't know what's gonna be like for spring. They might like take off the ice biome when spring comes and
try it all up.
Yeah, I don't know what they're really gonna do with the airplanes after that. They might add it if there's like a lot of likes and stuff.
Yeah.
But
See how it goes.
If the community is complaining about it, like they will remove it.
Okay. I'm gonna hand it over to Matt. Matt, have you been doing much the same, or do you jump in to other games as well?
I mean, for the most part, I just play Fortnite because it's the game I want to keep improving at and stuff like that. But I mean, I dabble with a few other games here and there. Like I play Dota 2 very occasionally.
My
I
man.
play.
Did the guys hate you for that? Yeah.
I only play it like in the hours when no one else is awake, like on a Monday. On a Monday, like when no one else is on.
Okay to deal with.
Exactly, and I dabble in like a rhythm game called Osu, just to, like aim, warming up, stuff like that.
Okay.
But apart from that, it's mainly just Fortnite all the time,
And it's kind of the same questions as I asked Josh. Do you like the short seasons? Would you prefer them a little bit longer? How are you finding season 7?
I think the season length is good, but I feel like per season they don't need to add so much stuff. I feel like sometimes it can get cluttered and things can get lost in patch notes very easily, and it's kind of difficult for a player that plays it consistently to figure out initially what has changed. So like stuff can just get lost by new plane or new explosive, but then they've changed a bunch of other stuff which you kind of forget about, which makes you suddenly jump into a scrim and something you're placing down or shooting with is less powerful or more powerful than prior, and then it's kind of throws everything.
That's a great point actually, because the playing almost hides those little micro changes that someone like you, like the micro changes would affect someone like you a lot more than say me or my son or any kind of casual player. But
Sure.
That's a great point, because when I look through notes, you see flying planes, zip lines, and creative mode for me. But I'm sure you really dive in there and check out like sensitivity, guns, this, that, and the other. I seen actually, did they change over the building style? Is it gone from pro builder, or I'm sure actually just thinking about it, you guys are all on PC obviously, yeah?
Yeah. We're
So I jumped on console there and they changed the building to, I think it's pro builder, but that wouldn't affect you guys in any way. Oh, it changed last season, was it?
Seasons ago.
So, guys, we're going to move on to news. Exactly what I said. We're into season 7. The patch notes are out. It introduces zip lines, a creative mode like Minecraft, and a new flying vehicle. Obviously, the plane that we were talking about. And the second bit of news is Epic have announced that they are launching a new online game store to rival Steam. Now, Steam have come out and basically tried to counteract this by giving developers a little bit more money. Epic are giving developers something like 80% of all the sales, which is great for developers. So they're going to be getting a lot more big developers coming in and selling their games on their system. So Steam are going to have to step up. Half-Life 3. Anyway, so we're going to move on to that's just the short news section. We're going to move on to questions, guys, for you, and take them kind of whatever way you want. We're going to ask, I'll ask one, then it'll go to Paddy, and then Seamus will ask the next one, just to keep a kind of round table and everyone involved. So first of all, I am going to ask, this is kind of for everyone. Tell us a little bit about yourself and where your gaming obsession began. I'm going to start with Josh first.
Well, yeah, my name is Josh. I went like well back when I was like really young, when I was playing Minecraft. When I started playing, I actually saw potential in this game and I wanted to become competitive at a really young age. Like stuff of Minecon and all that stuff.
Yeah.
I tried to go to them, but wasn't allowed by my parents because too young and there's no one to go with. So that career kind of dropped and I moved on to League of Legends, which is a MOBA game. What's it called? Oh no! Yeah, so I was literally playing MOBA for 2 to 3 years, and I got to a really high stage where I can compete to Irish players around Ireland, but I was still pretty young, so I couldn't compete like at the highest level with like 18 plus tournaments and all that stuff. So that kind of dropped as well. So then I was just sticking around, like wasting my time. So I stick to League of Legends and I moved to CSGO as well, which I played that in a high level. But again, I was still young. So
give us a time. What age were you when you were kind of started out kind of competitive? 12, 13?
Yes. Like after I stopped playing Minecraft, I was like 12 or 13 years old. And yeah, I moved on to League of Legends and CSGO. And I tried to pursue that competitively, but I was like too young. And then I just wasted my time until Fortnite came out and I saw a potential in that game. And I tried it out and I just really enjoyed it. I was like, oh my God, I want to get my first win. And once I got it, it was just like it really felt good. And I just wanted to keep playing more. And then I saw that they like introduced prize pools like in tournaments over age of 16. And I was 15 at the time. So I was like, hopefully I can get invited once I'm 16. And yeah, once I turned 16, a week later, I got invited to the summer skirmish in Fortnite.
Nice.
Nice. And what wins he on now? How many wins he on?
I have not checked in a while, but I think like 1,600, somewhere around there.
Nice.
And what do you think is the key in Fortnite to being very good at?
Well, like you need to, if you want to improve as a Fortnite player, you need to look at all these aspects. Like it's not all about building, or it's not all about aim. It's like a mixture. You need to be good in building, aim, your mindset, and like communications, and like all the rotations that you need if you want to improve in the game. Like, imagine if someone is just really good at building, but like he doesn't know what to do in like any situation. He just like builds, but then he just wastes all his materials and then dies mid game. You know?
Yeah. Oh, I do. I imagine I live it.
Wait, say?
I live it. I don't have to imagine. I live it.
He is that person.
You're talking about CSGO there, and like you played that. How much of what you learned playing CSGO has translated to Fortnite for you?
Well, I learned like loads of things about CSGO, about like muscle memory, saying call outs to my teammates and all that stuff. I was literally learning from the game, just my muscle memory and yeah, just communication, to be honest.
Nice. Matt, I'm going to throw the next one to you because I think you're the witty one. So what different personalities do each of you bring to the team, and how important is team chemistry? And I want you to answer for all of the team.
Okay. I feel like we all have like our own unique kind of way that we play, which is good. But we also have like when we're playing scrims and stuff like that, we won't always take it like mega seriously, which is something that I think is actually really good. Like we kind of, we do some stupid stuff which maybe we shouldn't do, but I think it's good to kind of make things fun. Remember that it is a game at the end of the day, and it's not always about win. You do still have to like keep yourself having fun.
Is Jeff the manager in the background going, that's not what you meant to do? Go on,
it happens. But I would definitely say that Jam Ghost, one of our teammates, is definitely just the influence of all of it. He'll mention something and then it will just go to pot really. And then but we try. But I do think that team chemistry is extremely important. Like you have to be friends with your players, like good friends with your teammates, because if like you don't speak to each other outside of just playing the game all the time, you don't know how your teammate is, if that makes sense. So you kind
Yeah,
of
of
have to know like the mind of the player to know like how they're gonna play in game as well as how they act outside of the game as well.
Do you ever fall out?
Not yet.
No.
I'm waiting on it, but no.
Couple of close calls, was there?
Not even really that. It's just we're all pretty chill as it goes. You know, we all
Nice.
just play the game. Don't really focus on much else. Just
I
play
think
the
that's a
game.
great thing about Fortnite. It's a very social game. Like it can be very social where you're playing the game and you're traveling together into one section of the map to the other, and you're waiting for someone to kill. You're just chatting away and looting
Yeah, for
and
sure.
getting materials. Like it's very like I play with people all the time, my friends, and it's just casually playing. You don't mind if you win. You don't mind if you lose. You're there to have the crack. You know what I mean? That's what it's good
Yeah,
about. Very
sure.
good about Fortnite.
Like for
The ring is
example,
very good.
today, when we were playing, me and Coldozi, my duo partner in the squad, we were playing duo scrims and we were trying out the new planes. And obviously, we've only been out for one day. We don't really understand how they fully work yet. But, you know, I was driving the plane and Coldozi was on the wing. And I accidentally jumped out the driver's seat and sat on the wing. And the plane just nosedived. And as you can imagine, it probably didn't end too great. So, but, you know, we don't think, oh, we don't get mad at each other like you made that mistake. It's just funny, you know. It happens. We can just wait 20 minutes and queue into another game, you know. It's never the end of the
Talking
world.
about scrims, the scrims are very, very different to the normal game. Like when you get into a scrim, it's 30 people at the end could be, and you're trying to build and move. I don't like how are you supposed to unless you get into scrims, you can't like really train for that. Like it's very different.
It is. It's difficult to if you were suddenly, you know, you were just put in, you play pubs, you know, all the time, and you suddenly think, oh, I'm gonna go play a scrim. You jump into that scrim, you're most likely gonna die off spawn every single time because you're used to playing public matches where, you know, I'll be honest, like 80% of the players are probably not that experienced.
Yeah.
Whereas if you get contested at your initial spot, 99% of the time you're gonna be if you're in a stacked lobby, that is, you're gonna be running into a very good player. But if you do manage to get to endgame, it's all about sound cues in Fortnite, I feel like, especially in those clustered zones. You need to know what you're listening for at all times. And I think that's super important into knowing where people are. You can't be like looking around because you don't have time for that. With the quick moving zones in the storm, you got to just be focusing on
it's a very different
sounds.
game. I find it very strange. Even watching the Winter weekend and it was like 50 people left and the circles are moving. I was tiny. It's like, this is not the way Fortnite is usually played. It's strange to see. It's like, how did they survive so long? It's like they all like say to each other, like, we'll wait till the end kind of thing. It's a very different game. It's strange to me. Like it's enjoyable. I suppose you have to learn to edit and move and get the height. And I suppose you have to get invited to the scrims to really train for them.
Yeah,
That's
for
the only
sure.
way to that's the only way to get into scrims, I suppose, as well.
It's all about, you know, swift movements. You got to try and do everything first try. There's no like room for error in scrims.
Yeah, that's how, yeah.
You make one wrong move and you can get punished for it if your opponent is extremely experienced as you are. If you know, you open the wrong window in your wall, you know, you place the wrong waste the wrong thing at the wrong time where you could have used it somewhere else much more effectively. It's very punishing, but when you get that perfect game, it definitely feels good.
Yeah, I'd say it does. It definitely does.
Do you want to ask the next question, or James?
Yeah, sure. So like with teams and stuff like that, how like this is probably aimed more at Jeff. How do you manage like the morale of the team? How do you keep everybody on the same page, like wanting to play the same certain way that they play every time?
So I actually picked this up when actually building the roster. I had to make sure, like, I wouldn't just pick, all right, I'm gonna pick this guy. This guy's good. All right, we'll play with him. It's more like Stuffs was saying, they had to have like a kind of chemistry together. So like, for example, if someone made a mistake, they wouldn't just start giving out to them for no reason. You know what I mean? Like, it's recoverable. It's kind of like I wanted them to have a good friendship with each other. Therefore, the morale would be good throughout, you know? And for them to keep playing the same way as they always do, it's more like just them knowing what to do. Like we would share patch notes. Like we would, if someone made a mistake, we would all pitch in and tell them what they did wrong. Like we'd, for example, some of the guys stream, so we'd go look at the stream and watch that, you know, stuff like that. And also in Fortnite, there's a replay mode where you can go watch what you did wrong. It's more like the consistency of them playing with each other also kind of helps. It helps. Like the more they play with each other, the more it helps them to get better, you know?
And do you hold meetings or anything outside of that? Like when they're not playing, would you hold meetings as a team and talk things out and stuff like that? Would there be, I think,
we would do stuff like that. Like just it's more, it would be more casual because, you know, like we're all friends, you know. Like there's no point like being completely professional with them, like full on professional with them if, you know, they're your friends, you play with them all the time, you know, like. But obviously if you're playing with somebody that or if you're talking or you're playing with somebody that you don't really know, and like that's a scrim player, you'd want to talk to them in a nice manner, or like because you want to keep playing with them. That's the thing. You want to improve with them or get something from them, or they get something from you. It's more like kind of the community. That's what I like about Fortnite. The community is so good to each other that they all kind of help each other. There's group chats around, you know, sharing info and whatnot.
Yeah, there's a lot of people obsessed with the game. The game is massive.
I've got one for Josh. Do you consider competitive gaming to be a sport? As in, we have the name e-sport, but a lot of even professional gamers wouldn't exactly call it a sport. What's your kind of stance on that?
I think gaming, in my opinion, is a sport because, like, just think about it. It is competitive. It's like it's like global games. Like all the games that are playing as esports, like League of Legends, CS:GO, Fortnite, PUBG.
Yeah,
they're all global games, and they're similar to actual sports in like football, rugby, and all that stuff. Yeah, I think it is a sport because of the training that you do in the games are like really similar to actual games in real life.
Yeah, you have like routines. I'm kind of with you there to an extent, because a lot of people compare the whole physical aspect of a sport, but there's plenty of sports out there that are not physical. Chess, I mean, is considered a sport, so that argument is kind of void when you bring in the physical aspect of it. So I think or gaming will become more and more acceptable as, say, a sport, but at the moment it's in the kind of middle ground where gaming is getting to that stage where there is a lot of money to be made in it. There's a lot of money being pumped into it by governments across the world, but I just think it's in that middle ground now that people are a little bit accepting for it at the moment.
Do you think that Fortnite can be considered an esport? It's very random. It's very hard to make it like a level playing field when you start off. Do you think it is an actual esport?
Yeah, I mean, I would say yes, just because, in my opinion, RNG in Fortnite is minimal than people make it out to be. You're aiming in a way to play so well that the RNG is irrelevant to the situation. Like, you don't worry about what guns you get. You just know that you can perform with the guns you did get, if that makes sense.
Okay.
There's rarities in guns, but the scar.
It's kind of very hard when you land in a house and there's no shotgun, there's no gun.
Yeah,
you stand outside and there's another person with a gun. Like that's the only reason I would say that's very hard. Like, they'd have to change it up to where you land in, say, like 2 different sides of the map or something like that there to make it. That's my opinion, to make it an actual e-sport.
In that situation, in my head, the way I would play that, if I walked in a house and didn't get a gun, and I'm not saying I'm insane and I don't need a gun to win the game, you know what I mean? But you can hear that. You can potentially hear someone running outside of the house. And if you don't get a gun, you can call a teammate. You can attempt a rotation, try and get as close to your teammates as possible. So if you do go down, you can potentially get picked up. Yeah, for sure.
True.
That's a fair point, yeah.
And what does Josh think of this?
To be honest, I do agree with stuff like the gaming being a competitive sport, like chess, for example. Yeah, it's not a physical game; it's a mental game.
It's kind of
It's
more.
like-
It was more like is Fortnite? Would you consider Fortnite an esport more than as it's so random? Do you consider it like can be called like an actual? You could make it an esport.
I think it's already an esport, but making it into a sport, I think it can be called a sport because of the mental like fitness that goes into that game and into loads of competitive games. It's the same as chess, as that being a mental sport. And
I agree to a certain extent. What else, boys?
Seamus?
So, like, getting into a team like Facts Revolution and stuff like that, is there a way, like, for people outside to join the team? Like, do they have to apply, or do you scout them, or how does that work?
So, it is mostly people in the community that's already there. You know, there is a lot of people in the community. There's a lot of people that are free agents. Most of the time it would be people coming to us, and it would kind of we kind of check them out. We'd see how they play. If they stream, we'll watch through their games, see how their call outs are, see how their behavior is, see what the community thinks of them. Like, for example, Stuff's here. He actually, we recently just picked him up, and he's one of the new people in the roster, and he didn't he didn't have the biggest, like, he wasn't in the biggest team, but he had experience, that kind of thing. That thing attracts us. His communication was good. He also, like, he plays well with the guys. He communicates well with the guys. His synergy is good with the guys. You know, like, we would hardly just pick somebody that was good and then never talk to us ever again, you know, never communicate with us, because there's really no point in that, because that's not a team, you know.
Yeah,
that's fair point.
So we really look through all those aspects before we say, okay, we'd like to offer you a place in the team, you know.
Yeah.
This is one for more kind of myself and Seamus. Want to know what sort of PC specs you guys have. I recently built my own PC, but I guarantee your guys are going to trump mine. So I'll start with Josh. What sort of system you're running?
Well, this is Jeff's PC. I have no idea what's in it. So.
Yeah, I'll take that in. So right now, what I'm running on right now is the RX 480, the AMD one, and we're going AMD 1500X.
Oh, nice! You went Ryzen, yeah.
Yeah, but
I got the 1600 in mine. Nice.
Oh, nice. Today, actually, we recently just got the 1080 Ti, so
I'm so jealous.
I heard
that bad boy in today. So.
I heard you on the stream. I have to cut the stream off. I have to put this in my PC. What?
Friends, by the way.
Yeah.
Did you get a good deal, or did you get it sent to you for sponsorship?
No. We just bought this because the lads actually recently played in the Dublin Games Festival.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So they actually won both the duo Fortnite tournament and the squads tournament.
Congratulations, guys.
Nice.
Yeah, thanks very much. So like they took home a decent amount of money for them, and also Josh here has also won a bit of money coming in the top 100 of Europe in the.
Yeah, well done for that. I wanted to bring that up earlier on. Fair play, it's a fantastic achievement.
Yeah, so apparently it was out of 9.2 million people.
Wow.
So, you know, like it went from 9.2 million to 200 people that qualified to 100 people that qualified till the end.
It was some pressure on that day. I was watching.
Yeah.
It was hard. It's hard going up against them.
Did you watch it
Massive
live,
pros.
Paddy?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
watched it live. Yeah, I was watching it all.
Awesome.
I really enjoy watching it. I was watching his stream, and then I was watching the actual stream as well. It's very hard to compete at that level, and he did very, very well. Should be proud of himself.
You'll be
Yeah, that's
first
the
next
thing
year.
with these kind of big tournaments is like it really can change your life, you know. Like one of our friends, one of Stuff's good friends, actually, he came second in it, bringing home like 70 grand, you know, like
75,000.
like he
Nice.
was a working guy, and
75 grand for playing
life.
Fortnite. Yes, please.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The guy has mad skills, so
All I want to say, guys, is what
the
age? What
lads-
age are you? 16 years of age. I mean, you're going to be at that level sooner or later.
Keep going.
Yeah, we're both 16.
Wow.
Yeah. How do you feel competing in such high level tournaments? Like, do you get nervous? Do you think you play a little bit worse than you usually play because of the pressure, or do you stand up and take it on?
I think that's what you prepare for, honestly. Like that's why we play scrims, and that's why we play the scrims with the top tier players, because you don't want to get into that scenario in the big tournaments and then suddenly just brick it and just not know what you're doing and just let the nerves get the better of you, you know? So the more you practice, the more it just becomes a regular thing. It just feels like a scrim, but apart from there's $1 million on the line, you know?
That's it. That's all. That's only $1 million. Like, that's it.
It's only $1 million. That's grand. It's no pressure.
LolbOom, do you reckon you did your best, or do you reckon that you could have get more, like, and next year you're going to come and maybe in the top 50?
Yeah, I think like in the finals, I played so bad in that tournament. I died 5 times off spawn out of 6 games, which tilted
that was the
me.
second day, wasn't it?
Yeah. It was the
time.
finals, and yeah, I just did not know what to think. I overthink too much, in my opinion, but I wasn't nervous at all for the tournament. I was just like overthinking too much, and it just cost me the tournament.
So was that a solo thing that you were doing, or did you have a team? Or
it was solos, yeah.
Solo. Congratulations, dude. Fair play to you.
It was. I was watching the Winter Rail. I don't think they gave enough commentary to the whole amount. I know there was 100 people in the second day, but they never mentioned a lot of people. And I thought like they should have mentioned somebody. You know, they're always the top. They're talking about the top 10 all the time. I think they need to give more to everybody that competes. You know, on the day.
I always find that in every sport, actually, especially even motorbike racing, you'll always hear them just shouting for the top 3 or 4. Like it's hard to get them ever to hear that maybe the 10th person or the 12th person. So maybe it's just a case.
I heard the video Nick Merckx talking LolbOom. I thought when you kill someone, I thought it was brilliant. I love Nick Merckx. I love watching him. He's a brilliant Fortnite player. And I thought I loved it. That's a great achievement just to even hear him say it. Oh, LolbOom. It was brilliant. Boom by name or something, wasn't it? What did he say? It was brilliant.
I forgot.
Yeah, I forgot. It was something like that. Something like that. Act Boom by name or something like that. There, he's after making a name for himself or something. It was brilliant. What's the next big tournament in? Is that announced yet?
They haven't announced any big tournaments yet.
It's just
there's a few rumors.
Few rumors. The American one's on this weekend, isn't it?
Yeah, this weekend.
Yeah.
Yes, that's correct.
Yeah, you be tuning in.
Yeah, of course. You know, gotta support some of the lads. You know, we know some of the people from NA, so yeah, gonna cheer for them. So,
who would your if you watch streamers? Who would your favorite in America be if you just had to watch one?
Me, I would pick 72 Hours from Team Liquid.
Yeah,
in my opinion, yeah, for sure.
I don't think I've ever watched him. What's his style?
He's just consistent beyond belief. You never see him die off spawn. He can have a grey pistol and a bandage, and he'll somehow make it into a point where he's going to earn points. He's
MacGyver.
Yeah, he thinks like. Whereas a good player can think like 5 steps ahead. It feels like he can think like 20 steps ahead of what he's going to do.
Give him a look. You sound like I love watching streaming. I think Fortnite is very entertaining to watch. It's very, because you never know what's going to happen. Like it's completely different nearly every game. Like that's why it's so good to watch it out. Like,
I
every
love
day,
watching it as well. I'm definitely going to be checking you guys out a lot more as well. Now that I've
What
had
about yourself, Josh? What kind of streamer would you watch?
Tfue, even though like he's the biggest streamer right now, like he overtook Ninja, I think he's like the best player in Fortnite right now. Yeah, because of his positioning and his like his knowledge of the game.
Yeah. I think Ninja doesn't really compete anymore, doesn't he? So he's given he wouldn't even consider himself one of the best. He's not very good at competing. He doesn't really place well. He's he's the one that made Fortnite massive. Like Ninja's, I don't really like watching him. I think he's very toxic, to be honest. But like he's very hard to watch. It's good when there's like four of them on together, like Tim the Tapman and himself and Cypher PK or whatever. They're all good together. It's a bit of a bit of crap going on. When he's by himself, that I can't watch him. Just Red Bull head.
when he's playing 12 hours a day, I suppose you're going to get moody.
Leave me alone. 12 hours a day, getting a couple of $100,000.
Yeah, I mean, he's playing this weekend in the Winter Royale, so we'll have to see how he gets on.
Yeah, definitely have to see how he gets on. I couldn't see him doing too well, but you never know. He said he wasn't going to compete, so maybe he changed his mind. He probably gets paid just to go to them as well, to be fair.
Big time. So guys, just to kind of round off the questions, the last one I'm going to ask you guys is, what advice would you give to anyone that wants to compete at a competitive level? Say someone that's say like my son, he's very young. What does he need to be doing kind of at this stage to really kind of push himself? I suppose I could throw it to Jeff.
So to compete at a level, it's just kind of more the consistency, right? So for Josh, for example, I'll give an example. So for Josh, before he even got big, before he got known, he would be off stream and he would be there all night, just at playground, mastering like his building, mastering like how fast, like literally. So his muscle, like he was saying, his muscle memory. So when he masters his muscle memory, then he doesn't have to think about it the next day. You know, it's kind of just embedded in there. You know, so
okay.
But
the playground is a great addition to Fortnite for practicing. It's great that they added it. It'd be hard to practice all that building in normal game.
Yeah, so initially it was supposed to be just a limited time only kind of thing, but everybody liked it, so they just kept it, you know.
Yeah.
But consistency and kind of your wit to like never kind of give up. Just if you want this, play for it. You know, if you want it, the more you want it, it will show in your skill. You know, that's what I believe. So if you're not practicing, if you're not playing, people will see. And
what sort of hours do you have to put in kind of daily?
Your life.
But you obviously you guys are still in school. Like you go to school, do your homework, and then it's what, Fortnite for the night, or have you finished school?
I mean, I can talk for myself on this. I don't know how everyone else's schedule is. Mine's pretty scuffed. So I get home at like 5, and then eat food as soon as I get in, and then it's game time in a way. I play until midnight usually, and then on a weekend I can play anywhere from 10 to 15 hours. It's just it's the grind you got to put in, you know.
Did you start off the PC or did you just try a console?
I started Fortnite on the PC. I've been PC for like 4 years now or something. Didn't start with a PC like I have now, but I started playing games on PC for about 4 years.
Yeah.
What was your first kind of gaming setup?
Yikes. It was like
PS1 or something like that, was it?
Well, console-wise, the first console I had I think it was a PS2. And the only game I can remember playing on it was some like Incredibles game, which is random. I'm sure I played other games, but that's the only one I remember. But
no GTA.
No, not at that age anyway. But yeah, I had a PS3. And then I had a PS3 for some time and got into some shooter games, and then wanted to try them on PC. So asked for one of like a cheap-ish computer for Christmas and kind of just went from there. And now since Fortnite came out, it's just been kind of a blur, really, just playing every day and improving, you know?
Nice.
Yeah.
Sweet. Thanks a million, guys. That was educational and unbelievable to hear all your stories about your Fortnite ventures. I'm definitely going to be tuning into your streams and wishing you well in any future tournaments. I'm sure you're going to do amazing. We usually do our next section. Hopefully, Seamus has it ready.
I do not. I have.
Okay, well,
I have
well then
nothing.
we'll push it on to topic of the week, and it's just basically for everyone to jump in and give their opinion. If you had a choice to design the next season of Fortnite, what would you do? It can be gameplay changes, skins, change the map, add a new map, anything you want. Paddy, I'll go to you first.
I think they should add like a Celtic Irish team. They should have Celtic crosses everywhere.
Pubs.
And
Little
pubs
leprechauns.
leprechauns
a pot
everywhere.
of gold instead of a
A
chest.
pot of gold. That'd be great. You find the gold, you get 100% life.
Bit of the rainbow.
100% health. Yeah, that's my Celtic. I'll go with that.
I just realized I want that as well, Paddy. Fano?
I want Fortnite kart racing, where you have your 4 people of your team and they all have certain weapons and stuff, and you just race around back blowing up other teams. I think that would be brilliant.
I think they have that already. They have cards in them.
You can with the new
They have
creative
karts in it,
mode.
but I want that like on a competitive level. Like I want like an actual track where you have to have your 4 people. One person's driving every lap. It changes who's driving and who's using what weapons and stuff. That's what this is where this should be going for me.
Rocket launchers.
Jump in there, Matt. What were you going to say?
With the new creative mode they recently added, there's actually like a whole system where you can create your own game mode, and I'm sure that one of the community members is going to make a game mode like that. So I'm sure that wish will be fulfilled very soon.
Nice.
I would imagine.
Good to know.
We
Matt, I'll
are
throw it
getting
to
on
you
that
next.
after show.
What would you change?
I'd probably just say screw it and just make it all like hell, like lava, and everything's just like dark.
The floor is lava.
Like,
There's a
like-
great.
I can
Rather
see.
than
I can
having-
see a volcano being added to it at some stage. I
yeah,
can see
something
it.
like that. Like it's all just like maybe you go through like a portal and it's all like hell. It's all like lava and volcanoes and fireballs and stuff. I think that'd just be stupid but awesome.
Nice.
I'd enjoy it.
Jeff?
Yeah, so for me, well, recently they actually got rid of this gameplay mechanic. For me, it would be gameplay mechanic. And they got rid of this gameplay mechanic called the glider redeploy. And I'm wanting to see that back because it really messed up for the competitive players in the aspect of rotations, because before it would be that you just run into the circle and everybody would just shoot at you. You'd waste up all your mats, and you wouldn't, like, at the end game you just wouldn't have anything left. But with the glider redeploy, you'd rotate to wherever you want as fast as possible, and then you'd turtle there until you see somebody and want to kill them, you know.
Sweet.
That was a good thing for competitive play, because then there wouldn't be that much RNG in it, you know, because the circle would instantly move even outside the circle, and it's just hard, you know. You waste all your materials, so I want that back.
Do you not think that kind of takes the building aspect out? Where like there's no, like, people are, when they build up 3 flights and you take them down, that's an edge, whereas they just redeploy, it takes that edge away.
Yeah, but you'd still be getting that height anyway. But like,
Yeah, I mean, it's not shooting
kind
shooting the person down. That's their edge. You know what I mean? Like, if they build up, you shoot them down. That's the risk you take when you build up. Do you know what I mean? I think that takes away from the competitive side of it.
It does have its its negatives and positives, but
Yeah.
like, just in my opinion, I just like in competitive play it would be good, you know.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Sweet. Josh?
I want the double pump back.
Double pump.
Yeah,
Everyone
sure.
bloody double
Who was
pump.
the killer with the double pump? Someone in the chat earlier on, was he?
Daquan.
Yeah,
Wait,
yeah.
Remember him
what
in
the-
Remember him in like season 1 or 2? He was just destroying a lot of like solo squads using the double pump.
Yeah.
It's kind of like pump SMG now, isn't it? Really?
Yeah.
That's the quickest way to get rid of somebody. Saying that the recent updates to the shotguns have made them way better than they were. Like you hit someone, you hit somebody now, it hits them like properly. Like before, you could hit them and hit them for like 12, and you're like, "What's going on?" I hit him in the face.
They're worth picking up now, that's for sure.
Oh, definitely. Like if you land in Tilted Towers down and you get a shotgun and someone doesn't have any pots, you're getting them down. Like, do you know what I mean? Which is great, unless it happens to you, you go down, because that's the only disadvantage there.
And they're cheating.
They got rid of the double barrel today as well, didn't they?
Yeah.
And that new shotgun is unbelievable. The gold pump, I love it.
Yeah, it's class. There's two things that I would like to see, and because they've just got so many now at this stage, I'd love to have full on create a character, as in custom skins, have what you look like, just go all out with that type of stuff. And another one is, and people are going to be like, no, but I'd love to see a first person choice, like a first person server to jump in and see that game in first person. There was a couple of trailers before that I seen, fan made trailers, and it was Fortnite in first person, and it just looked cool. I'm sure they'll never do it, but yeah, I'd like to have the option there to flick into first person.
Kind of takes away the if you're first person, there's not really a need for a skin, though, is there?
Paddy doesn't like any of the ideas here.
It'd be so hard to build.
Would it?
In first person, everything would be just that bit longer to do. Like you'd have to like moving around and everything would be slower.
Okay.
The pros agree with first person servers now.
I don't know. With the building aspect, I think it might be worth to try, but I mean, I don't know how it would be. Like, you know, you're in a 1x1 instead of like being able to see over it, you're just staring at a wall in front of your face. You know, I don't know.
Yeah.
Would it make it a little bit more difficult, the fact that you had to maybe peek around the wall rather than just using your view, your third person view to peek over? I don't know. I think it'd be interesting regardless.
I think I'm not writing it off. I think it's a good idea to maybe test it out, but I don't know how it would be in practice.
Sweet. Well, they'll probably never happen, but it's nice to throw our imagination at it.
Get on to Epic. Get on to Epic.
Yeah. Guys, can you write a letter to Epic for me? We're coming just to the hour mark. Paddy, we usually do a community section now. Is there any questions?
I didn't really look. Gonna have a look now.
I know there's a few.
I was too busy.
Awesome questions, chat. Get it done.
Minzo said first person game mode would be nice.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Read your own comments.
Game is where the money is. That's a good one. That one.
Yeah, we usually kind of say questions. So if anyone has a few questions, drop them in really quick. How does Stubbs feel about Greasy Grove?
I don't want to talk about it, man. Okay.
Oh, you don't like it, no?
That's under a lake now, dude. I'm sad.
Come on, dude. It's our only question. You gotta make it worth it.
Yeah, Greasy's like our spot that we always land at in duos, squads, whatever. You know, me and Coldozi have come up against LolbOom and Ghost many a time in a feud. But no, they were like, hey, there's an iceberg here. Let's just crash into it and fill it with water and then freeze. So now it's just under an ice rink. So not accessible. Unfortunate events occurred.
Season 8, here we come, yeah?
Yeah, hopefully it melts and we just get a moister version of Greasy. That's the plan.
So talking about moisture, Fionn Doherty asked, what moisturizer does Jeff use?
Nice. Let's go, Jeff.
No comment, no?
It's gotta be that E45, you know what I mean?
The E45, multiple uses, yeah?
Yeah.
I don't use moisturizer, I just use honey.
Oh, yeah, I use honey too.
Someone asked who's the funniest, in fact. In your
Ghost.
team.
Pengo or Ghost? Yeah, for sure. For sure.
Minzo says, do your hands shake in tournaments when you're pressured?
Nah.
See, that's the thing. That's the thing with Josh, right? So when we first started doing tournaments, he was a bit shaky. He had the pressure. Especially in the first summer skirmish, he just turned 16. It's like one of his first few tournaments there. And yeah, in fairness to say, he was a little bit nervous, but over time we did a few more tournaments, and over time it's just gone.
Nice.
So just experience gets a
Exactly.
better.
That's why my donut's back there as well. Like, you get nervous, you just punch the donut a few times. Let it all out, bro.
Is that from The Simpsons? I'm just gonna guess. It's just normal donut.
I don't know, bro. I don't even remember where I got it from now. It's just always kind of there now. I just forget about it.
It looks comfortable, to be honest.
Yeah.
Kono Houston says, "Is Josh going to buy the battle pass?"
I already bought it.
Oh.
Why is that meant to be a funny question? Why is it meant to be funny?
Because
Ah!
I don't want to answer. I don't want to answer.
You
have to tell us now,
There's a
dude.
safe word. There's a safe word. You can call it.
What?
Is there any more questions, sir? It's only a tenner.
Why is Stuff's background so nice? Because he's set up for Christmas, is why.
Exactly, bro. I mean, it's literally just an LED light and then some twinkle lights. It's pretty low budget, I'll be honest. But
Looks the job.
Link in description.
Yeah.
No, wait, they're not MSI.
I think we got the same controller, have we? Is that the same controller that you're using? Yeah.
It's this thing. I ain't got a
Cheap as
clue.
hell. It's an upgrade to mine.
But it's like it was like 15. Or something.
It's upgraded. Right, guys, we are going to do our shout outs and get out of here. Paddy, tell the good folks where they can find you.
I'd like to thank the guys for coming on and everyone in the chat for chatting away. And you can find me on the Republic of Players Twitch channel at all the times playing Fortnite. I'm playing anyway. Playing some Red Dead. Maybe going to play some Resident Evil 7. We'll see. And you can catch me on the Republic of Players Facebook page. Just hit me a message if you want to talk to me. And Paddy the Pagan on Twitter. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Paddy. Fano?
For me, it's just at Maroxide on Twitch and on Twitter.
Sweet. We'll go to Josh.
For me, Twitch, Fortnite, LolbOom. And if you guys want to DM me, you can DM me on Twitter, just LolbOom.
Nice.
Sweet. Thanks a million, Josh. Matt?
On Twitch on stuffs _, and on Twitter, because I couldn't get stuffs, I just went _stuffs _.
Oh, gotta get them underscores in.
Which is not confusing at all for everyone, but hey, I mean, if you want to follow me on there, go ahead.
So ___. Okay.
And the manager, Jeff?
Yeah, so you won't find me anywhere other than Twitter. It's just at FactMakeout. I just want to thank these two lads really for coming over, helping us out, and also you guys for hosting this for us, and also like all the lads in the chat, it's going crazy. Yeah. Always supporting us,
100%. It's all about the community, man.
Yeah, no, I just want to say, as always, you can catch me at the Alpha Fox Gaming on Twitch and Twitter. A big thank you to you guys for coming on and telling us about your experience. I mean, you're so young, and to have the experience that you guys have with the biggest game in the world, it's just amazing for us to hear those stories. Josh, Matt, and Jeff, thanks a million for coming on. Paddy and Fano, again, as always, it's been a pleasure talking to you guys. I've been your host, Ronan Fox. This has been the Republic of Players podcast, episode 22, and we are out.
Peace. Shout out Penguin.